Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Are you ready to get your job? That's why we're here, right? Like, get that job. And I know every firm out there, they're all amazing. You can't go wrong with any one of them, so I'm very excited. I've been at this career event probably for like 15 years I've been coming to this building, so I've seen the evolution of what they've done. This was so exciting to me to be able to present to you because it's critical. Like, I think American Idol, when you go in that room, you know, there are going to be lines, people are waiting, and they're not going to remember you unless you do something spectacular, special, relevant, persuasive, memorable, convincing, confident. You can name a million of them. And I hope that this little activity, because you're all going to write with me, and I'm going to develop, you'll see at the end my elevator pitch that I have prepared for you, given the same exact document. So if we could pass around the little exercise that we have, we're going to go through the slides, and as we're going through the slides, you're going to fill out the 5 sections, because afterwards I'm going to randomly pick you to come and say your elevator pitch. The more you say it, the better you become at it anyway. When I teach people to do elevator pitches, I like for them to practice in a mirror. It's really scary to practice in a mirror, but you get to see your facial expressions, your body language, and we only have a half hour, so I won't have time to talk to you about things like maintaining eye contact, which I'm hoping you know is very important, and how to give the right proper handshake, only because we didn't have time. But clearly you don't want to have a loose handshake or too firm. You know, you want just right, just like you're going to find your just right accounting firm out there today. So let's get going. Come on in. First thing, first question, first very important question. What is the one thing you are always selling?
Yourself.
Yourself. Constantly. It's from when we wake up and we put the clothes on in the morning, what you decided to wear here to this event. Number one thing, you are always selling. So as you're approaching those booths out there in the next room, they're already looking at you. They're already making judgment. If this person's going to fit in my firm. Does this person look the part? Did they come prepared? Are they professional? And then it's going to be matched with what you're saying. Okay, so we want to make sure that that pitch is right on and it does exactly what we need it to do, which is sell you. Because elevator pitches, elevator speeches, they're about you, 100%. And some people have a hard time with that, talking about themselves. It's hard. You know, we're always taught it's not about us, it's about them, or it's about we, it's about the team. Today it's about you. It's got to really, really be about you, 100%. Because when you're walking away from those tables, they're turning your resume around and they're writing 3 things, 3 letters, Y, N, or M. I know because I did it. I was an HR director for many years at a public accounting firm at this event, and as that person, after we shook hands and said, okay, flip that paper around, you got a yes, a no, or a maybe. And it was quick, because it's like speed dating in the next room, all right? It really is. And I gotta remember you. I gotta remember you're wearing a red tie. Oh, you remember that guy? He was wearing a red tie. It's something that's gotta pop, okay? So the first section on your paper, does everyone have a piece of paper that we're writing? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, first section, it's all about you. It's about who you are, right? What you do. So who am I? I have over 15 years of experience as a human resources professional. I've worked in public accounting firms. I have hired CPAs, I've hired CPA hopefuls. And now on the other side, I'm the owner, the CEO of Matters of Management, a company that helps bring public accountants to accounting firms, helps bring CPAs to their next career. So this is my thing. I do it all the time. That's what I do, all right? But in that section there, you want to write what you do, okay? Are you already a graduate? Are you going to graduate? What is it specifically that you do, okay? Very important piece of the puzzle. Here's the next thing that they're looking for when you're giving that handshake, okay? They're gonna find out if you have the credentials. That's that 150 credit mark. Well, I have 130, but I already applied to a master's program. It's, I've already sat for the exam, or I intend to sit for the exam as soon as I do X, Y, and Z. It's the credentials. Maybe you don't have that credential yet, and you have a different credential that still is going to lend itself to this new job that you have, right? It's, where did you go to school? I'm a graduate of. Do you know anyone who is a graduate there? Or if you've done some research already, I know, you could say something like, I know half of the entry-level staff in your firm is a graduate of Monmouth University, came from Rider. Just things that you can connect to also that are important pieces of the puzzle. If during your education or in a previous time from now, you've worked in a place that's relevant to the position that you want here, that is part of your elevator pitch, right? So me saying to you all that I have experience working in a public accounting firm for however many years, that's part of my experience. It's what makes me me, but it's also that credential. I'm certified in human resources. I've got 3 degrees. All of those things you want to add to your pitch. Like I'm saying, so you can find those areas that maybe you're connecting with the person you've given that initial handshake to, or perhaps someone in their firm. You know, a lot of these booths out there have 2 or 3 people. There are lines. Maybe you see someone that you identify with, that you want to make sure to say hello to them or introduce yourself to them. And any kind of skills. So maybe you don't have all of the credits necessary, and I think that if you look around this room, this is your competition, right here, right now. And not only is this your competition, it's every resume that any of those people, any of the recruiters out there, and these are accountants, most of them out there are already CPAs in firms. There's a couple HR people, there's a couple marketing people out there, but for the most part, these are accountants, so they've been in your shoes. They know what they're looking for already. They're already having their conversations of what to say to you about their firm, okay? They've talked about their elevator pitch, how to sell their firm to you, because you can go down that aisle and almost every one of those firms out there are in competition with each other. So you have lots of different layers here of where you want people to remember you by, okay? And skills could be QuickBooks, right? I was top of my class in Excel. I've taught Excel classes. I love tax. You know, all of those things should be in that 2-minute pitch. Solving their problems, right? So what are problems that accounting firms might have today that you could solve? What do you think?
For instance, I would say the engagement portion, the relationship with the clients are very, very crucial in the event that you can, not only the revenue, but ultimately you can trust from that so that you can actually find solutions for them that almost.
So building relationships, right? So building relationships, business development, that's a problem that an accounting firm has. Every accounting firm out there has that. So by you showing them your personality and the way in which you can sell yourself is going to make them think, okay, well, this person has the criteria we're looking for, right? They've met the initial criteria, they have the degree, or they're going to get the degree, right? So check that off the list. But even more than that, on top of that, they're personable. I'm going to feel confident when they come to my firm or my place of employment to put them out in front of a client. And that goes back to that eye contact and the handshake and how likable you are. This is why I said earlier, American Idol, right? To remember that likability factor. Other problems that they may have right now, they may only have 3 open positions in their firm for an entry-level accountant, or 3 open positions for someone with 2 to 5 years of experience, and that's it. Right? These are mid-sized firms. Some of them are a little bigger than mid-sized firms, but typically, on average, they're putting on between 5 and 10 entry-level people a year, and just a little bit less than that on a higher level, okay? So that's it. Those are your spots. That's the hot seats that they have to fill. It's important. So this is all about that second paragraph there, right? Identify something that makes you uniquely qualified for the role. So you should be filling that piece out. The next piece is you versus other people, okay? So I have some pictures here. I have a picture of a wedding. And I know for me, the top 3 things I remember about every wedding I go to. What do you think they are? Food. I said food. Yes, remember the food. Was the food good? What else? Excuse me? The music, of course, right? Because you have to work off the food you just ate. One last thing I remember, but what else could it be?
Oh, you mean the speeches? Like
Oh.
the best man and
That's interesting.
yeah, and the bridesmaid and the maid of honor. Yeah.
Okay, so their speeches, that's cool. I didn't think about that one, but that's cool.
Couple?
The couple, sure, they could be memorable. Yeah.
Probably the dress and the tux, what the bride
Yes.
was wearing, what the groom was wearing.
Yes, definitely, right? So for me, it's the food, the music, and the dress, right? So they're remembering out there a couple of things about you, right? They're looking at your attire, of course, right? They want to see if you're professional. They want to make sure that you have the credentials necessary, very, very important. And they want that lasting impression, that confidence, that they know when you walk away that they can make sure to check their boxes off and say, yeah, that's the one I remember, okay? We want you to be persuasive, but not a car salesman, please. Really, really important, right? So that it's not like you're bragging about yourself. For me, in my elevator speech, I often tell why Matters of Management is named Matters of Management. And that's that picture up top. So Matters of Management is the acronym for MOM. And so I actually left public accounting to do more public accounting, to work with more firms, but on my time in a mom company, right? So that was really important for me. So all the recruiters that I have working for me are moms at home, but they know your industry. So it's good like that, but that's part of my elevator speech. It's a very important piece of who I am, how I solve your problems, and the method in which I do it by, right? It's like a little bit of a differentiator with your other people who do what I do. And it's personal, right? It's something that was just for me. If you look at my logo, you're not going to know that it's something that's so personal to me, okay? But this is that next part in your, as you're developing your speech, those 3 things that are so important, okay? And that confidence. So I have seen many, many people who've walked up to me while I was out there or as an HR director that have this, overconfidence. I could do everything, right? And so you have a resume that says one thing, you have a person saying something else, and then you have social media that says totally different story. And keep in mind that the people that are out there are very savvy, okay? So they've seen hundreds of resumes, and they're going to try to match that resume with how you present yourself also. Okay, so you want to stay true to who you are. It's really, really important that everything that you say you are in that resume and say you are in person, it's integrity piece, stays true when you go for your interview. It's kind of like all of these things together. So when you're crafting this speech and you're identifying those things about yourself, these 4 pieces of the puzzle, make sure you hit on all of them and that you could agree with each of them as you're putting your statements together. Finally, there's this call to action. A call to action is, what do you want them to do? Right? Like, you've had this nice conversation, you've told them all about yourself, but you really want them to do what? Hire you, right? Set up an interview with you, call you back, remember you. And the way that you do that is by ending it with something that they have to provide for you. So it's a question. It's this marketing thing, back to the sales piece, selling yourself, of saying, this is who I am. I really want to work at your firm, but I need this from you. And some of those this from yous can be, what are you looking for in a candidate, right? Can you tell me something about the last candidates that you've hired? How many positions are you looking to fill? What can I do to better my chances of gaining the next step in this recruitment process with you. That's the call to action. It's asking for those things. Or even telling them what you expect next, why you're here. And finally, these were my 5 pieces. So I'm going to read them to you, and then we'll have time. We'll give you a little bit of time to fill out, and then I'm just picking names. We'll walk around, just point fingers at people to get you all to share in this experience. Because the more you say it, if you've written it, and then on the back here, you can take all of these little pieces and then write the whole speech out, right? But then you have to practice it. If you don't practice it, by the time you get over there, you're going to forget half of it, okay? So this is me. Good afternoon. My name is Rachel Anevsky. I am the CEO of Matters of Management, and I'm here today to help you prepare your elevator speech, right? That's the first piece. More than 15 years experience working in public accounting firms. Prior to owning Matters of Management, I did that. I was a human resources director. I have a master's in organizational behavior from Fairleigh Dickinson University. It helps me understand how people get together and work together in an environment. I'm certified in human resources. Having worked both internally and externally, I'm kind of uniquely positioned to see both sides of the coin. So I know what they're looking for, and I know how hard it is when you guys are walking in that room, okay? I've seen so many resumes. And I can't express to you more than being yourself. It's an important piece of the puzzle. With that said, Matters of Management is the acronym for MOM. We employ moms who work from home. Matters of Management, we do not change resumes. We encourage people to be themselves, right? So we never want to see someone in a workplace and then have to look back and say, wait, they told us they were really, really good at Excel. Because the partners will ask, well, didn't you tell me that this person had 3 years of Excel or came from this school and I know that they teach this? And we find different things out when you're actually working in the workplace. We provide executive coaching to everyone we place after they're in their position, something different that we do that other people don't. This is our differentiating factors. And we have a track record of never placing the same person twice. So that important to us that you find the exact place that fits your personality and experience the best. And I encourage you when you're walking around, maybe that's your call to action, is why should someone want to work at your firm? What is the culture at your firm? So that you can match what you want with what they're selling. You don't want to start someplace and realize rather quickly that it's not the right match for you. Because earlier on in your career and even mid-stage career, you don't want to be racking up different opportunities simply because you haven't done your research or you found out early on that you were not a match for them. Finally, today the intention is to assure you to become memorable, persuasive, confident in delivering your elevator speech, and now get out there and find your job of your dreams, right? And to do that, we're gonna take a couple minutes, just like 3 minutes, to have you finish up your speech, and we're gonna have you present. All right, who's good? You're good?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You're good. Okay, so come up here and tell us your speech.
You want me to tell you all of them?
I want you to read your elevator speech.
Okay.
Right?
You mind if I go box by box by box?
You can go box by box. I'm going to give you this. I'll be your recruiter. Hi, so nice to meet you, Brandon.
Sorry.
Awesome. Let's see what you got.
Hi, I'm Brandon Evans. I'm a recent college graduate and I was a college soccer player. Identify something that makes you unique, qualified for the role in which you are looking to obtain. I may not know the answer off the top of my head, but I will work tirelessly to get the answer in depth with specific details. Number 3, I think since we all have it, I don't really need to read them, right?
Just keep going through.
Detailed research, specific details in a timely manner. And for number 4, I wrote, originally, I would not be able to answer this question. This would be a question to ask the firm after the opening conversation. Time management, ability to multitask, a passion for finding and understanding my work and own questions. And number 5 is insight into how to differentiate myself from applicants and how they got to the position they are currently holding when they were in my shoes, as well as what qualities to develop.
Awesome. All right, so from here, good job, right? So thank you so much. So from here, you have to take those pieces,
Yeah.
and make it flow as if it's one thing, right? So, and that's what that back is for, is to take those little pieces of the puzzle and put it down so it flows nicely and it just is your pitch. You're going to say it all at one shot. All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Awesome. Who's next? Red tie, he's got it.
Awesome.
Oh, you don't even need your paper. You're good.
Oh, I probably should bring that up.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, my name is Matt Mojica. I'm a senior accounting major at Stockton University, and along with that, I'm going to have 150 credits when I graduate in May 19, I forget about the years sometimes. Outside of the classroom, I served as the vice president of my fraternity, so I helped out with community service and philanthropy. I helped raise a $10,000 polar plunge over the course of about 5-6 months working with community leaders and other sources. I'm an admissions ambassador on campus, so I'm used to recruiting new people and really communicating one message to different people and different types of people from backgrounds. And I guess one of my main goals in all my organizations and when I join a company is to really build relations with the client, with my coworkers, and also build a sense of rapport with everyone that I work with. And I'd really love to learn more about your company culture and the size of the firm and other things like that.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, nice and flowy.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great job. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We have time for one more. Are you done with yours? No. No. My goodness. My goodness. Want to go? Come on. We'll go up to the front of the class. Cool. I hope this is helpful. You know, as you. And did any of you practice something like this beforehand? A little bit. All right.
Kind of.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm Andrew. Can everybody hear me? Good. Okay. Great. Camera guy, give me the finger. Yeah. Good. Good. So, yeah, I've introduced myself. I am a Rutgers student getting my graduate degree, and I'm expected to graduate in May. This is good because I wasn't an accountant before. I had no experience prior. I had a marketing degree, have some management experience. I was a manager at Macy's. The highest number of volume that I dealt with there was a $10 million department, and at my best, I managed about 30 people. Now, that was exciting, and that's where my experience really comes from. You ask, how is that accounting related? Well, I had to analyze my business. I had to see where my numbers were coming from, what was doing badly, what was doing poorly, and why. And I managed inventory. So in that respect, I guess in terms of business analysis, I guess in a really long shot, I can relate that to accounting. Now, that was my education, that was my experience. What can I provide as a solution for the company that I potentially will be working for? Well, in essence, I think my management skills definitely take me a long way. I feel that I'm very personable. I can definitely deal with clients, as I've done at Macy's. I've dealt with vendors, customers, managers, my peers, and even higher management. So in that respect, I think I have the experience to speak to anybody at a business level, or even, as you mentioned before, you know, build rapport and that sort of thing. So that's that question. 3 attributes that.
I hope you don't say that.
No. Of course not.
We wanted to
Of
just
course
go a little
not.
bit smoother than that, but it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So the 3 different attributes that I'd say, I do speak 3 different languages, Portuguese, Spanish, and English. So with that, I'd also like to add that I am a hard worker, as cliche as that might sound. I did start working at the age of 14, and I'm now 25. Working is like breathing to me. I need to do it. It's something I have to do, and so accounting is something that, along with the experience I've had, I need to do it. I'm itching to go back to work. That's why I'm here today. And so that's one attribute, and I enjoy challenges. Doing projects, taking leadership in a group project, even if it's something that's new to me, going to the gym, as simple as picking up a weight that's an extra 10 pounds, is something that's, it's a challenge. And so that's, in that respect, not just my personal life, but especially in work, it's something I look to do. And what do I expect from the company that I am talking to? Well, everybody talks about money, everybody talks about brand name, but in essence, I want to learn, right? Because knowledge is something that, in my experience, I'm paying for my education, right? And if you can work for a company where you're going to learn, they're paying you, right? So it's sometimes you touched on it too. You have to look at the company that fits you best. And so in that respect, I do want to work at a company where I can have my hand in different projects and learn different things. So in the sense of accounting, not just assurance, not just audit, but maybe tax, see how I like that, right? And eventually from there, learn as much as I can. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Hold on, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you.
So I want to just add one little thing, because it's a trick question that we like to tee you up in public accounting. And Andrew mentioned it about learning, right? So it's like a fine line, because if we ask you, in public accounting only, if we ask you what do you want to be, or what's that 5-year goal for you, and you say a partner in a CPA firm, or if you say, well, I'm here to learn, the business owners and the recruiters think, I don't want to pay you to teach you, and then you take everything we taught you someplace else. So and I think that we all, in every aspect, want to learn from a company. If you could hear from them, maybe just shift it a little bit, and maybe that's your call to action. How do you educate your employees, or what kind of training do you provide? Would be just a little bit of a different shift in that you would like to learn, all right? Because we don't want to pay you to learn. We want to pay you to work. That's the goal, right? So that's what we want to hear. One more, because I know yours is done.
It's not done.
It's almost done. Come on. And then I'll let you all go and meet people. You have a question, or you want to go? Here you go.
Okay.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Don't be nervous. There's lots of people out there.
My name is Leslie Andrade. I am in Ocean County College. It is my last semester there with my business degree. Right now I'm in externship with my professor in accounting, and also I did completed 3 books with my bookkeeping honors contract. 3 more to go. I did take Microsoft Excel and my Microsoft Proficient, so I can know that. I'm a supervisor at Marshall's. I know how to handle clients and customers, how to talk to them, how to handle cash well.
You knew that was coming after that big bang, right?
I am also bilingual. I can speak Spanish and English. That's really all I got right now.
All right, so good start, right? So confidence is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So when you get up there, here, I'll take this from you.
Okay.
Thank you. Good luck. So when you get up there, that's going to be the big thing, right? You don't want to get all the way. You're waiting in line, waiting for your turn, and then you forget everything to say. So the reason for this exercise really is, and then unfortunately I think we have to wrap up and get you back out there. But the real reason for this is to make sure that you say all those things that you want to say. And if you prepare for that, there'll be fewer things that you forget. You're going to forget things. You're going to mess up. The good thing is, if you do a good enough job today, they'll have you back in where you'll have an even more scary interview. They're not scary. But, with the managing partner and all of those people. But in a more relaxed environment where you don't have 30 seconds to impress. But I wish you all the best of luck. And I'm here if you have any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.